and welcome along to the Invincible podcast. We're back. The Premier League games are back this weekend, and joining me, I've got Lee Judges, of course, in the building, and a slimline Julian. You're looking good, bro.
Yeah. I still haven't put it on.
It's finished. 2 weeks. Done.
Yeah,
You did it.
2 weeks was Sunday. Thank you. And I'm 18 days chocolate free. And I haven't put any more weight on since Sunday. So,
haven't you?
Yeah, and I was
that's
under
amazing.
I was under a lot of temptation last night because I heard that magic word free, and with a bit of encouragement from Lee, I said no.
And just make sure Ryan hide the biscuits from now on. Like, make sure that they are now hidden because they will be destroyed.
How much did you lose?
I lost just over 7 kilograms.
What's that in stone?
Not sure. I think it's just over a stone
and a half,
stone and a half, maybe.
That's brilliant, man. That's brilliant. That's
Yeah,
brilliant.
but the key thing now is keeping it off.
Keeping it off.
And just making sure that I don't get back in the habit. And I mean, what it taught me was the fact that I don't need as much food.
Yeah.
That I was eating when I wasn't particularly hungry, that you eat just for the sake of eating.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
It's so true. That's the way I've changed mine, man. I eat now when I'm hungry. So, and you find, I do think it's almost like your belly, your gut inside shrinks, right? Because you can't eat as much after a while because you're not used to, So, no, well done, man.
Thanks.
Well done. Just before we get into the show, I just got to tell you about Omili, right? Big debate coming up this week. At AFTV, we know that football is more than just a game. It's life. And with Omili, you can finally stop sitting on the sidelines or on the fence like Lee and get into the game yourselves. Omili isn't just another app, it's the ultimate platform where real fans shape the game. You can host live shows, join in debates as a guest, or connect with other fans in real time. And this is where the real, honest, and buzzing football conversations are happening, people. Plus, the more you engage with the app, the more recognition you earn. And guess what? Cecil and I, as I was told to say by Julian before the stream, will be hosting a live show on the app previewing the Arsenal versus Bournemouth game on Friday at 1:30 p.m. UK time. We're going to be tackling the question, will Bournemouth be a banana skin for Arsenal? Now, you want to be there and join us. Download the Omili app right now and join the future of football conversations. Also, follow the AFTV channel so that you don't have to miss out on any of our live shows. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code, sign up and get in the game. Omili is where football lives and it's powered by fans like you and me. And I'll tell you, it's a great app. You can have great debates on it in audio. So you can listen to it in your car. It's really, really good, right? And as I said, you can judge who come out on top in the debate. And that debate's going to be really, really interested about Bournemouth because not as easy a game as we all think. You know what I mean? Everybody was thinking that's a simple game, but we get to find out. We're going to be discussing that in today's show. Just before we get into the show today, I've got to ask these two a question, right? Because, I'm hearing some serious reports that you two let AFTV down in a bad way last night. Now, you was part of a quiz night, right? How many people was in this quiz?
There was 15 teams.
15 teams in this quiz, right? They were asked to join this quiz because of their expertise in football. It was a general football quiz. Can you tell the people that are listening to this stream where you came out of 15 people?
Well, we nearly won a prize.
Where did you come out of 15 people?
Well, we nearly won the prize of coming second from last, which was a good prize. Unfortunately, we just missed out on that. And where did we come?
15th.
Yeah, 15th.
15th. Last.
Yeah.
Last.
In other words.
I got out of there quickly.
Embarrassing.
It was.
Yeah, humiliating.
It was
But it was so... I mean, things you say we let down AFTV.
You did.
It wasn't about... AFTV is, it's about Arsenal. And there was nothing about Arsenal. It was about football. And we've never claimed to be, massively not interested in football, but
you
massively kind of knowledgeable.
So all your knowledge is only on Arsenal?
Well, it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and I found that out last night. You know
So
what I mean?
he let you down.
Absolutely rubbish.
Oh, well, you were hardly great.
I got a lot more questions right than you.
You wouldn't
And I'll
be
tell you
able to
what,
get
I had
right the whole
four questions, and he argued them like, I'm convinced that it was that. So I went with him, were they all 4 wrong? If we'd have got those 4, which
We would have got the prize.
We'd
actually,
have got
got
the
Give us
prize.
an example of one of those questions.
there was. I think one of the examples was the one we actually got was which England caretaker managers have played one and lost one.
Only played 1 game and lost 1.
1 game and lost 1.
2.
Caretaker manager.
Caretaker managers.
That's the catch, innit? Caretaker manager.
Yeah.
I got that right though, didn't I?
We actually, between us,
Between when did you get between you? Like you argued it all like left, right, and centre.
What was the answer?
Stuart Pearce and Peter Taylor, and
I
it right.
got
Taylor's the one I was trying to think
Peter
of.
Taylor.
Peter Taylor's the one I was
So
trying to think
like, I'll give it after I said it.
Yeah,
like,
half. Yeah.
And then there was another one where, when did Johan Cruyff get played? This is what I'm up against, right?
of. When did he what?
When did he get Ballon d'Or?
But it was more than
74?
that.
1974 or 1978 was the answer, right?
No.
And it was his, and when his son was born. You remember Geordie Cruyff? He played for Man
So
United.
it was the
He's
same year.
age, round about. He's a couple of years younger. It's 78, 100% 78. No, I'm having it, like, you know. And I said, look, Johan Cruyff was more of a player at 74. No, I'm telling you this. And in the end, because I'd gone with him on 4 questions, I went, no, I'm not having it. I'm going 74. And it was 74.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we would have been even worse off. Like, so.
Yeah, we couldn't get worse.
Last.
We couldn't get
no
last.
worse. I tell you what, we lost to some girls as well.
Yeah.
They was in a group called Girls Aloud.
Yeah.
And they come second from bottom.
They come second from bottom.
More louder than you two.
I tell you, we got out of there very sharpish.
Yeah.
That's why he didn't get the free food.
Oh,
he
awful.
felt embarrassed to even.
It
take
was a
it.
very, very difficult quiz, but
Talking of that, you just mentioned a question about England managers. Where do you guys stand on? I mean, separate to Arsenal talk, but Thomas Tuchel, formerly of Chelsea, of course, won the Champions League with them. Dortmund, PSG, new manager of England.
yeah, from my point of view, I think from a footballing reason, I get it, I understand it, but I'm in the camp that should be English manager.
What about you?
Yeah, I mean, from a footballing perspective, I totally understand. If you look at what's available to England to actually manage them, I think that there's very little. You go back and think of when was the last England manager to win an FA Cup. I think it was like Harry Redknapp with Portsmouth. Last English manager to win the League Cup, I think, was Steve McLaren with Middlesbrough. The last English manager to win the Premier League, I can't think of any that have ever won the Premier League.
No,
Can
I
you?
haven't. It was Howard Wilkinson was the last.
Yeah, in '92 with
Leeds.
with Leeds. I think I saw a stat and I couldn't believe this. Of all the English managers that have managed Champions League games, how many Champions League games do you think that was? English managers that have managed.
Eddie Howe.
Not many.
Eddie Howe. I mean, it's not been many English
Yeah,
managers.
but how
Kevin
many
Keegan.
actual games?
Gary Potter.
How many actual games?
Harry Potter.
10?
Graham
20?
Potter.
Yeah, it's actually 44 across the whole history of Champions League. So,
but then you could argue that a lot of times the English managers not been in a position
correct
to win the
but
league
there's a
because they've not managed.
But there's a reason for that, because they're not good enough.
Yeah. So then why are you saying that you wouldn't have an English manager?
I haven't said that yet.
Okay.
have I?
Well, why are you saying it then?
Well, I'm
You're
saying-
going along with all
I'll
that.
come on to the reasons. I'll come on to the reasons why I get it from a footballing perspective, but if you've got England, then you're looking for the best for England, then you play Haaland up front.
Now, don't be ridiculous.
No, because it's the same thing. So
No,
why,
it's not the
it
same
should-
thing.
It
It's not
should
the
be,
same thing.
It
It's
should
ridiculous.
be.
You say that-
It's national team. I'm not talking about England. I'm talking about every national team. Every national team should have
You're allowed
just their own
every
nationals.
national team,
and then it becomes
yeah,
fair.
but that's not the rules. Every national team is allowed to have a manager from wherever you
You're
want.
asking me what I thought, not
Right?
what the rules are.
Right, well, that's the
and
rules,
what I
right?
think.
And to me, all I want to see, right, is England win something.
Well, then
right?
you manipulate the
I
rules and you get Haaland
right,
up front.
I've been at these finals, right? And I was at a final the other day, the Euros, right? I want to see us lift something. Right, and I don't care if
then
it's
you
Tuchel.
manipulate the rules
I don't
so
care
that
if it's. No, we're not manipulating the rules because that's the rules. The rules are you can have a manager from wherever. Why you just named out and said that English managers basically they're not gonna.
No.
Let me finish. You said nobody. There's nobody else. You get it for football reasons. So then why you want to go and put an English manager in charge so we don't win?
Because it's England.
So we don't win nothing.
But if you win it with an English manager.
I think, listen, I
Who
think
cares?
if you was like to be, if it was an Arsenal match, say like Mikel weren't manager now, and it's either Graham Potter who's English or Tuchel, I'm going Tuchel every time. I get that. But it's England, and it should be
Don't
for your country.
matter.
And like, no, I'm serious. You know, like we're struggling for a centre half. Let's go and get someone. Let's go and get Saliba. He plays in this
but you
country.
can't because that's not the rules.
Well, I know it's not
Right?
the rules, but
and actually, you know what I mean, you can have rules where you can bring in players like over a period of time that ain't play for your country as well. So, you know what I mean, Jack Grealish was playing for Ireland, now he's playing for England.
Declan
You know what I mean?
Rice.
Declan Rice as well. Listen, get the best man for the job.
Oh, I get that.
The best man for the job that's available right
I'm
now.
not
is
against
Tuchel.
it, Rob.
Get it.
I am not
See all
against
these-
it.
Listen, I see all these people moaning like.
No, I ain't moaning about it, but we're pure. I'm a pure. A lot of purists. I think that you should. You know, it's like Scotland. Scotland should have a Scotland manager.
If that was the rules, I get it, and I'll be with you, right? But that's not the rules. You can
That's
have a
what we're saying,
manager
we think the rules
for
should
wherever
be.
they are. For
It would
wherever
make it-
they are,
it would make it fairer.
right? If Thomas Tuchel wins the World Cup for England, there is not one fan who's going to care where he come from. When Serena Wiegmann won the Euros for England, right, with the women's team, I've not heard one person say, "Oh, she's Swedish." Not one. It don't matter, right? All we want to do is, with the players on the pitch are English, win it.
But then it
And
becomes
it-
unfair for other teams because it starts to come down to money. So England, the English FA have obviously got more money than, let's say, a team. I don't know, I'm going to pick up an obscure country, got more money, therefore they can get a better manager in.
Scotland.
Scotland, which gives them a more of an advantage.
Would Tuchel ever go to Scotland to manage the national team?
Probably not, because he's offered a bigger contract for England. So it starts to come down to money. Whereas international football,
It's never about that.
It shouldn't be about that. It should just be the best players in that
It's
particular
always
country,
been about
the best
money
managers.
because the best football teams have the best facilities. So, like England, have got St George's Park, and in Spain they got great facilities. In Germany, they're going to have better facilities than San Marino.
Gives it an extra.
right? So it's always going to come down to that. To me, it don't matter that the man. Listen, if
Really,
we
it doesn't matter. Is that what you're saying? It
don't
doesn't matter.
It don't matter. If we had a suitable candidate,
Would Germany have an English manager?
If they ain't won nothing like we've done, I'm sure they would.
France have.
I'm sure they would.
Wise of
If
France.
they hadn't won anything, they would.
Have Italy?
And other countries have had Portugal had a manager that weren't
Yeah, but
Portuguese.
Portugal in the same stature.
Yeah, but they've won. I mean, they won the Euros. So what do we win?
It's not
We've
about
won the
what
World Cup.
Right? It's 66. We need to win something
And
now.
we won it with an English manager.
And we're getting close. And every time we just ain't got that guy to get us over the line. And Thomas Tuchel's a winner. Why is it in football? Why are we so snobbish in football as well?
It's only
why
it's only
in other
international
sports
football.
we got in cricket. The coach ain't English. He's from New Zealand. Is anybody moaning?
Look, listen, cricket.
Is anybody? You're a big fan of cricket. Is anybody moaning in cricket?
I am to a certain degree because even in cricket you can go back. We've had South Africans playing for us and things like that.
Yeah, but is anybody moaning in cricket right now with Bazball and he's from New Zealand?
Yeah.
Right, in rugby, we've had foreign coaches. We had the guy from Australia.
Yeah.
When we were winning things there, was anybody
Jones.
moaning? Did anyone say he's Australian? Why is it in football? We always do this, right?
Oh,
He's got to be English. When we know the English guys ain't going to
I
win
am
us nothing.
saying even in cricket, rugby, whatever,
Being
I would
consistent.
prefer it to be
It becomes
be an
more of
English
a national team then, doesn't it?
If we got a great candidate and he's English and it came down to a choice between him and Tuchel, I'd go with the English guy. But right now, we got no one. And then we still got people out there. I've seen loads of people, Neville, all that, saying that we should have got an English guy. So they don't want to win nothing. So we just,
But it's more
you know that
important-
the guy's going to come in, ain't going to be good enough, but you take him. Whereas in other sports, as I said, like cricket, like rugby, they've taken the best guy out there, right? Because they've realised that they don't have at that moment in time that person is going to win. And they've won things.
And
even the women's team.
yeah, and there's a reason for that, is that these people, on the whole, I can only talk for myself, would rather England win within the spirit of how it's supposed to be played, as in an English club. And it's not just England. I'm not just being central to England. If I was in another country, I'd rather see, if I was French, I'd rather see everything be French, because that was how the game was supposed to be formulated. And originated from, it was national teams playing each other.
Yeah, and it's still national teams playing each other, but the manager, it doesn't matter where the manager comes from. He doesn't have to be from that country.
Well, in our opinion, we'd rather it be, and it should
Saw
be.
in Brazil the other day, they were looking at getting Ancelotti. That's Brazil.
That's fine. And if those are the rules, those are the rules.
They are.
But our preference to see international football would be for the whole teams.
Yeah, no,
and
you
clubs.
said it, you've made that argument. I'm just saying, it's to me, I'm just going to find it a bit annoying that
We can see.
people they know that there's not a suitable candidate, but they're still like, it's got to be English. I don't like this appointment.
I think
That's just
Graham
ridiculous.
Potter would have been a good choice for me.
Yeah, been all right.
I would have gone for
Graham Potter's going to win us the World Cup.
Oh, I don't know if Tuchel is like, you know what I mean?
Well, who's better equipped to win the
I
World
know
Cup?
I know he's sing the national anthem.
Who's better equipped? Who's
You won't have to learn national anthem.
Who's better equipped to win the World Cup? Yeah, he's
But
all right.
we-
He'd rather
but
him
we-
sing the
but we've
national
alre-
anthem.
we've
than
already-
I'd rather win the World Cup.
Yeah, we've already said from a footballing perspective, we agree.
You
There
lot.
isn't
Snobs,
there
mate.
isn't that many English managers. Like if you was
Too
to say,
snobbish
like,
for
you know, we've had Gareth Southgate over the last sort of 8 years, and let's be honest about it. Really, if he become available, would you want him at Arsenal?
No.
No.
You see United
But
fans
Arsenal-
at the moment losing
Well,
it
they're
because
losing
there's
because
the
I
prospect
think
of-
like that's where he's going to go, isn't it?
Yeah, and United fans are losing it over that. So we get the best person for the job, which is, Thomas Tuchel. He's won the Champions League. You know what I mean? He's won titles. He knows how it does to get us over the line. We've got a team that's getting close. That's the guy that gets us over the
Done
line.
well at
And
Bayern
believe
Munich
you
last
me,
year, didn't he?
Yeah.
he didn't. If we win the league...
Just saying, like Bayern Munich.
Yeah. But if we
He was
win...
at Bayern Munich last year that win
True, but he
everything.
did win the European Cup.
No, but I'm just saying. But last season, you can only go like on your last, like
Yeah.
when you play, you're only your last game. Your last.
And how did Graham Potter do?
Yeah, but then what you do, you're being drawn into his argument that it's about footballing prowess and performance. We're saying it's not. Regardless of how good or bad he is, we're saying that our preference, because it's international football in the spirit of the game, it should be an English manager, a French team should have a French manager.
This is the problem with English football. It's too snobbish. This is why we introduce VAR after everybody. We get it wrong. We try to mess around with it. This is why every time I want to win something, and I'm telling you, if Tuchel was to win that World Cup, ain't nobody care that he's German.
No, I get that.
No one.
Well,
But what happens if you don't?
Right? Then people like you are going to be like, oh, you see, why would we get a German?
I think I'd still care.
He
if I
don't
won
even
the
sing
World
the
Cup.
national anthem. And by the way, Lee Carsey didn't sing that national anthem either. And
And look what happened to him?
and by the way, he played for like about 40 odd games for Republic of
Yeah,
Ireland.
no, I didn't want him anyway.
No,
Kept playing Declan Rice all the time.
Anyway, right, let's talk about Arsenal. It's back. The Premier League is back. Big game this weekend, 5:30 kickoff away at Bournemouth. We're going to be debating it on the Omili at me and Cecil, 1:30 p.m. UK time.
it's
So make sure
Cecil and I.
Cecil and I, as
Cecil-
I was told
Cecil and I,
today.
Cecil and
But
I,
the
Cecil
ultimate
and I.
snob over there, who was questioning my.
Before we
how I
talk about the
speak.
Bournemouth game, could we just, give me a pat on the back, like, I've been waiting for it for about 20
What's
minutes.
that for?
Yeah.
What do you mean, what's that for?
What?
Getting all the...
The fixtures.
Oh, the fixtures.
and get them all right.
No, there was one.
What do you
Yeah,
mean there was
yeah.
one?
There's one you messed up on.
It
You
was
got most of them
Ipswich.
right. But yeah, the Ipswich one Boxing Day, you
Which
messed
I
up on
didn't
that.
know, which only come out, I said,
Well,
I think that they was going to change it,
Yeah.
but I weren't too sure. That was the only
I think
one
we
that
give him half a point for that.
Half a
because he
point,
didn't.
yeah.
He kind of sat on the fence, didn't he, on that one?
But what
he
did I-
didn't-
I said to you it was
no,
gonna
no,
change.
you
I
said
did say it was
it's
gonna
probably going to change, but it hasn't been confirmed yet.
Yeah, I did
and what
say.
you say is probably going to change, and it didn't change.
It did change.
Oh, so
No, I think that was one.
No,
So
it's
I've
changed
watched
from
through
Boxing
it.
Day to Friday.
I've watched through it, and that was the one you
No,
got,
I said change that-
incorrect.
So
But you sat on
all the
fence on that
changes
one.
you gave us were from December, weren't it?
Yeah, and I said that
Right,
because
so-
of that game change. I said that the Brentford game was going to be New Year's Day.
Yeah.
You went, no, it won't be New Year's Day because we've got Boxing Day.
all
And
the-
I said Boxing Day.
Hold on,
might
did you
change.
give us this one though? That the United one was going to change to
Yes.
Wednesday.
Yeah,
Yeah, you did.
I have read. I've watched
And
it
I
again.
said the Spurs game.
So
as well.
United Wednesday the 4th of December, Sunday the 8th of December for the Fulham game.
Yeah,
Shakhtar 11th of December,
which was already
always already happening. Saturday the 14th of December for Everton. I don't know. You said that.
3
Check.
o'clock.
I've
3
checked-
o'clock. Did he-
I checked them all.
That's
I checked them
All
all.
right.
The only one that he
The
got.
21st, Saturday the 21st, 5:30
Crystal
Palace.
Palace. Yes.
Yeah, he got them all
Hold
right.
on. Oh,
apart
yeah,
from
you did
Ipswich.
get that right. I'm remembering that.
The only one was
Ipswich has moved from Boxing Day to Friday
which
the
I said it was
27th.
probably going to happen. Did I say that? I did say.
That was the only one he
That
got.
wasn't
he got
confirmed.
slightly
And he got the other one, Wednesday the 1st of January,
Yeah.
but which is New Year's Day.
Only team to play on New Year's Day.
5:30 kickoff. I don't. You know what? I like the fact that it's moved from Friday the 27th.
What?
From Boxing Day.
Julian Dunt.
Yeah,
Right.
just for me, I look forward to football on that day.
You don't really celebrate Christmas Day?
I celebrate it. I see my family and everything, but that's Christmas Day. So the next day, I want to go to football.
No, the next day, mate, I'm a bit smashed.
Yeah.
From Christmas Day. I like it being the day after. Trust me.
I think Boxing Day is good in one way, but it does split families because, like, if you've got like.
Oh, I love Boxing Day at home, man, with the family.
Yeah,
like, you can
watching a bit of
chill,
football and all
eat
that.
a bit of food from the day before, but
Yeah.
and then you can watch a bit of football in the evening, and then
long
the
as
next
that you
yeah,
get-
perfect.
So it's the day after Boxing Day, the Arsenal
Yeah,
game?
Friday.
All right, so it gives
The
you something to look
27th.
forward to.
Yeah, so it's only like one day
Yeah,
after.
no,
so
I
I think
But
that's-
it's an evening game, is it?
5:30 kickoff as well.
5:30.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a
No, I think
a
it's 8
public
o'clock.
holiday as well.
No,
because that's a
8
work day normally, the
it's
day
8
after
o'clock,
Boxing
isn't
Day.
it?
No.
Don't listen to
Yeah.
him.
It wouldn't be.
He hasn't done
8
his research, has he?
He's done his research. You know,
No,
mate.
5. Arsenal website 5:30 kickoff.
So it must
Look.
be a weekend.
No, 8:15.
I nearly fell for it like that. I nearly fell for
Well
it.
done to him. All right,
Well done.
he did well. Come on then. What's your source?
No, well, I just know someone in the club. You know what I mean? That's
Who's
all
that?
I can say. I can't say like, you know what I mean?
What else have you found out now?
I'll say. What do you want to know?
Have you,
So
well,
what's the injury situation
yeah,
for the weekend?
Saka and Martinelli. That's
Saka
what we wanna
Martinelli.
know.
What's it? Are they all right?
No.
They're not all right.
Saka won't play on Saturday yet. I don't think so.
You
At
don't
all?
think so, or you've got the info?
I haven't got the info, but like, there was obviously, we know there's a major doubt, and I think there is.
So won't be in the squad at all.
No, I don't think he'll be in the squad.
Is that based on what you think and what you've seen, or someone you spoke to?
A little bit of both. I don't like. He doesn't know about things like that. To be fair, he's more on the
So how do you know then?
admin.
So you're just assuming?
Well, because he sees him around, doesn't he? And he
So
hasn't
you've seen him
around.
limping, has he?
He hasn't seen him.
Right.
So I don't know.
So he hasn't. So he hasn't been training. That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
So he hasn't trained.
yeah.
Okay, that's a fair.
But no, nor are a lot of them. Like I think like Declan Rice didn't come back till yesterday.
yeah, but Saka's been back. for a
Yeah,
while.
that's what I'm saying.
that's
So I
the
don't know.
difference.
I can't say that I know when I don't know. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like when I know, I tell you. Like
And then say you don't know. How are you saying you just told us he ain't playing?
I don't think he will.
No, but he's made an assumption based on a fact, and the fact is he's been back for a week from England and he hasn't trained.
Yeah, but he could be back from a week. Declan Rice hasn't trained, so he could be like, right, guys, we're not going to train
but he
till,
wasn't
say,
released by
today.
England. He wasn't released by England early, so that's a fair assumption.
Yeah, but you've
why-
been released from England early to relax to
Yeah, he might. Like you know,
If
I
it's a
don't
muscle
know.
injury, it's like go home, just relax, just don't do nothing.
I'm sure he'd be having some sort of treatment and all that,
Yeah.
like, but like, obviously not seen it. I don't know. But, you know, I mean, I don't know what they do on. You know, sometimes you can come to the Emirates, can't you, and get better treatment then, and then I don't know.
Okay,
All right.
okay, we'll see. That'd be a major blow, by the way, if he's not playing.
Also, you have to think about it from a logical point of view. If he has got a hamstring strain, minimum 10 days, and that's just a strain.
But there's been a lot of reports saying that it was just he just felt something and it was just complete precaution, came off, and you know it's not really a strain. He should be
This
all
is
right
what
for
we're
the.
saying. If he'd been like looked after properly and
Yeah,
rested,
and he didn't have to
rested when
play
he should have
so
been.
many games.
Well, he been rested when he should have been. He's playing for England.
well, he could have been rested before that
Yeah.
on a couple of
Well,
occasions.
why
but
did you?
you
So
want
you'd
to
have
play him all the
arrested him
time.
for Southampton, and maybe we might have lost that game, right? Because it was him who turned the game. Yeah, remember that when I said that your best players, you want them to play every game. When you lot was saying to arrest him for Southampton, he got 2 assists and a goal.
Yeah, I
And a goal.
totally agree.
So what you suggested he should have been rested
But
for
you
that
also
game?
want him to be your best player over the course of a
Are
season.
you suggesting he should have been rested for the Southampton game?
What I'm suggesting is that he shouldn't be played as often as he is
Yeah, but you said before that Southampton game, that's the type of game
I would have
rested
rested him for Southampton.
Yeah, I would have done.
I would have done.
Yeah, and then we could have lost that game.
Hindsight's wonderful. Could lose any game.
You're doing hindsight now because he got injured.
Because we said
he got injured playing for England.
On so many occasions that you play. Forget it's Saka. The more you play, I mean, there's been studies done into this by eminent doctors. I mean, you spoke to one on a few weeks ago, the one in Manchester.
How many games he's played? 6 games.
It's not just six games. It might be 6 games this season, but he played during the summer. He played. He just.
How long would you want to rest him?
And he's still growing.
How long you want to rest him?
I wouldn't be playing him as often as he is.
Would you risk him for Bournemouth, meaning that he could be out for Liverpool, or would you?
Well, obviously not. Obviously not. I wouldn't rest him.
Then you'd rest him.
Listen, if
you rest him against Bournemouth, then
it's what my argument with what I've said to you before. If he's carrying an injury, right, into a game like that, of course you rest him.
But
if the guy's fit, right? If the guy's fit, I said this before, and he's not in the red zone and stuff like that, he plays every game. But if apart from say obviously Carabao Cup and things like that, he plays every game. So to me, if he's fit for Bournemouth, he plays. But
if there's a slight doubt, you don't play him.
We saw last week, the week before, when you don't take these games seriously, right? Or I'm not saying Arsenal didn't, but say you didn't take that game seriously, we would have got done by a team that's bottom of the league, right? Because every team in that Premier League has got quality that can hurt you on any given day if you're not at your best. So that's why your best players play. All this resting talk, it's a bit disrespectful to teams like your Southamptons, your Bournemouths and teams like that, because they're very good. These are good sides.
Well, I mean, if you're looking at the word disrespectful, I would turn that around and say that it's disrespectful to the other players within your squad to say that they're not good enough to play these games, because the whole idea of the squad is to be able to utilise them, and they're good enough to play. And what you're saying, that if you're playing Saka every game, then Sterling isn't good enough to play.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that
because you can only have 11 players on the pitch.
I'm saying that your best player starts, right? Every game that he's fit, unless he's injured, right? Or if he drops off in form, but he starts. If you want to win things, that guy starts games. Disrespect to me is when you start thinking, we can rest loads of players, or we can, because we're only playing Southampton, or like what I saw England do the other day when I went to that game when they played Greece. We're like, actually, we don't even need a striker. What are we going to do? We're going to complete experiment where we're going to just throw loads of attackers on, and we put 4 or 5 past Greece and ended up losing the game, and with Greece putting the ball in the back of England's net 5 times because of the ridiculous formation that we had, because we thought that Greece are so crap that we could just go and attack them with everything we had.
I get that.
Don't disrespect teams when it comes to...
And he has done that in the past. Remember Porto, he disrespected, didn't he?
Yeah.
But it was a second-rate competition at that time.
There he goes again.
What was Europa League?
Well, he ain't won it, have we?
Champions League last year.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the champ? I knew that.
And if you remember, right, you was actually at that game, right? You're forgetting, right? And you actually rocked up outside the stadium and was there disrespecting him on the night. Remember he's going,
that game. I get him mixed up with
just rest this, rest. Remember he was on that with that game as well.
Yeah, I said,
I looked at the form. I got that wrong.
I've looked at the form and we can rest him, rest that. See, this is what I'm saying.
It'd be interesting to see what team we're going to put out, because obviously there's a problem with Martinelli as well.
Yeah. Which again, you know what I mean, we're going to be tested this weekend. It's not an easy game. Bournemouth are a decent side. You know what I mean? They've got players like Semenya that are playing really well. They've had a bit of a mixed start to the season. Listen, we're expected to win. Let's be real about it. We're expected to win. We've had a good record at Bournemouth over the past few seasons as well.
Yeah. Interesting, wasn't it? We were talking about that game. We were trying to remember, talk about going back to that quiz of, we said we could remember like the cup final teams in the 70s, 80s. We were struggling to remember who scored.
Yeah, who scored the goals against Bournemouth last season?
We were all there.
Havertz.
Well,
that's the obvious one. Yeah,
he got the penalty. Saka scored, didn't he?
I think Saka scored I think Saka scored.
We're saying Saka
about the 9th minute.
What was it? 3-0, wasn't it?
4-0.
4-0. You can't even remember the score.
Saka. Odegaard scored, wasn't it?
Yes, we think. Yeah, I think from memory, I think Odegaard scored the second, Havertz scored the third, and I've got this vague recollection Ben White scored in injury time from a header.
Yeah.
But I could get them mixed up. But I seem to remember Saka was a header, like maybe on the 9th minute. Then it was Odegaard. Then it was the Havertz penalty, and then I think it was White. I think it was. I'm pretty certain it was White in injury time, a header. But I was really struggling.
Well, I'm trying to find it actually.
Yeah,
but
only a year ago.
Yeah,
I remember it. But
I think me and Lee was in like hospitality, right?
Yeah, well, I'd had a few white sherbets by then, like, you know. But yeah, I don't remember it.
All right, I got this goal scorers for you. So Saka.
Yeah,
was it ninth? Was it ninth minute?
Which I got that right.
Was it 9th minute?
17th minute.
17th.
Odegaard, 44th minute. Havertz, 50th minute. Ben White.
Yeah. Oh, it was Ben White. Oh, it was.
Well done.
4-0. So it's a 4-0 win last year. Fancy that this year, or do you think it's going to be a lot harder?
Nah, a lot tougher. I think we actually got Bournemouth right on the end of their bad run, and then they sort of like picked it up after that, and they've been really difficult. Every time I see Bournemouth, I'm very impressed with them against Southampton. I watched them against Southampton. I was impressed with them first half. They're a decent side. It's always, I know it sounds they've won their 3-0 and 4-0. There's always been spells in that game where it's been difficult for us or whatever. You know, I know we was 2-0 up, and then we got once you got the third in that one when Saliba scored that fantastic. We played in pink, didn't we?
Yeah.
It was all right, but I always think it's a tough place to go, even though we've done well in the last couple of games. With the injuries, you know, I'm not so sure whether this Martinelli one, why he was on the bench but didn't play no well. What's all that about?
They just put him on the bench. They actually made a statement before that game to say that he wasn't available. So even though he was on the bench and he was an official substitute, he wasn't there in a playing capacity. He was never going to come on.
Yeah, so why do that? You know what I mean? And the thing with Martinelli, which is more of a worry for me than probably Saka, not so much a worry, is that they never sent him home straight away. You know,
but that could be a good thing to say that
exactly.
There's nothing actually really wrong with him. Therefore,
otherwise
I keep him there.
Didn't come home.
Yeah, and apparently Arsenal never demanded him to come home. So if there had been any doubt, so I've got
more.
But then they only arrived back. I think their game was late, like almost like the early hours of Thursday.
Wednesday morning, wasn't it?
Yeah. I thought it was Wednesday. Was it Tuesday, Wednesday?
Wednesday morning it was.
So they would have arrived back today. Would they arrive back today or yesterday?
No, yesterday.
Okay, so he's had a day's train. They'll probably go to Bournemouth on Friday.
Yeah. So we look at Bournemouth's last 5 games, right? So their game just before the international break,
They lost that to Leicester.
They lost to Leicester, which that's quite a bad defeat. And I mean, Leicester right near the bottom.
It was very close, that game.
It was away, but they lost, right? They beat Southampton 3-1 their last home game. They lost 3-0 away at Liverpool. They lost at home to Chelsea 1-0. And they beat Everton away 3-2. So it's been very mixed. But
which is what you'd expect really from
Bournemouth. And they're 13th in the league.
Yeah, I mean, we should be looking at that game and thinking, you know, we can get, especially went there last year 4-0, we can get a win there surely.
Yeah. And we should get a win. But the thing is about Bournemouth, I read quite an interesting article this week about the most favourite sayings in press conferences from different managers. And for Areola, it was, we had our chances. And it kind of summed up the way that Bournemouth play. Because even when they lose, they do have chances. And games can hinge with Bournemouth on chances missed. And they do create quite a lot. It's just whether they put them away.
Yeah, I think with Bournemouth, where they're very vulnerable, when I've watched them play, the defending can be a bit all over the place with them. You know what I mean? I don't think they've got the greatest defence.
I think 3 out of 4 are really good. There's one, I think Smith, I think he plays, he's definitely a fullback. I think he's the weakest link. He's about 33 years old, a bit slower. He's been there since 2010. And from what I've seen of them, he's the weak link. I'm pretty certain he's the right back. So if Martinelli does play...
We didn't beat him in America, did we? Did we draw
them? We actually beat them on penalties. But the reason why we didn't beat them in America is because they'd had an extra week to acclimatise to the time. Yeah. But it made a massive difference.
Yeah, when we played them in America, they were, you could see they're a decent footballing side.
Decent footballing side. They are decent.
But you know, come on, if we're going to have,
we can't afford to drop
trying to win the
points in
leagues,
these
we need to win this game.
Yeah, it's as simple
we
as
need
that.
to win this game. We've got hard games coming up. So we really need to get going straight. I mean, that's why I hate these international breaks, because it kills momentum so much. But, you know, we really need to get going. And, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what the team might be, because we're mentioning there two vital players that could be out in Saka and Martinelli. That'd be a big blow if both of those are out. Of course, Havertz as well. Remember, he didn't go away on international duty. We're expecting him to be fit, but he didn't go away on international duty.
Partey was sick, but hopefully he'll be all right.
Yeah, so, you know, it's going to be really, really interesting to see what Mikel Arteta goes with. Is Ben White fit now? Does he come back into the team? Is Timber, who also didn't go away, is he fine to play? You know, and who starts on that right-hand side? Right. If say Martinelli's fit, who do we start on that right-hand side? Do we start Raheem Sterling, or do we start Gabriel Jesus? What do you guys think?
I'm going to go Gabriel Jesus. I don't think he's been great this season, but he's had good games for us on the right-hand side in the past. Man City last season, and also think that we all want him to start hitting the form that he does, and I think that maybe putting him out there may be a thing of like, there ain't that pressure to score goals, and I think when I've watched him the last couple of games, he looks like he's been a bit anxious to score goals and whatever, like, you know, relax him out there and hopefully get him back into form.
He's under a lot of pressure, Lee. I mean, there's a lot of people, lots of fans getting on his back. Yeah, people saying sell him in January, stuff like that,
and all that. Like every time he done something wrong on Saturday against Southampton, everything he's rubbish. He's feeling like from people from behind me. I was getting the hump in the end, like, you know what I mean? Because he was such a good player for us before this injury, and I think it's the injuries have mounted up, and he's just lost that little bit of sharpness at the moment, which he can get back. He's had couple of weeks without playing, maybe get it back. We know he's a good player. We know what he can do. It's just that the injuries have been there, and it's been unfortunate, like, you know. But I urge everybody not to get on his back at this moment in time. Just try and give him the benefit. It weren't that long ago. I think it was a year ago. I see it on socials this week. Seville. You know what I mean? When we was out there, he was man of the match. Man of the match. He was superb. So he's got it in him. He's got it in his locker. We just got to back him, and just hopefully he can do it, like, you know. Yeah. And I think more. For me, it would be easier for him if he was to play on the flank more in that pressure position, number 9.
What about you, Julian? Would you play him, or would you play Sterling?
I think it's close. I mean, it's not. I think it's great options to have there. If Saka isn't there, what you've got is two internationally proved players that can come in and fill in. Because Sterling, for me, absolutely isn't finished. People have, not raved about Sterling, but I think Sterling hasn't done anything wrong. I think he's looked pretty impressive for a player that's coming into a team. And remember that when you get a run of games, you just tend to play a lot better. You fit in. You're more acclimatised to your surroundings. And Sterling's come in and just played, the odd game. And he knows that he's not first choice, and that's difficult. It's the same with Jesus. So both players, I would say, are really great squad players to be able to come in and fill in. But for me, I would just marginally go for Jesus. And one of the reasons being is that I think his ceiling at the moment, especially with his age profile and the fact that he's there at Arsenal long term, he's contracted, whereas Sterling is really just there for a season, is that I'd go for Jesus for Arsenal's longevity of performances.
Yeah, I'm torn on it, man. I think I might start Sterling, because
surprise.
Just because, not because he did the Jamaican thing, as Lee's always trying to push that angle, but just because, Jesus has not been on any form at all. Now, you're right, Lee. We got to back this guy. It's been getting on my nerves as well a bit, where fans are just quick to jump on him and literally say he's rubbish. He's not rubbish. He's trying too hard. You can see.
Yeah, that's what I think.
He's trying way too hard.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right.
Yeah, he's overdoing it. He's trying too hard, and then he's making bad decisions. Which, if fans are already on your case, and there's the obvious pass and pass someone in, and you go and shoot, you better score. or you're going to get it. And that's what's been happening to him. So he's to blame for a bit of it as well, because he's been making some poor decisions. But I'm hoping, Lee, like you said, with these 2 weeks off, he's cleared his head, and, you know, like Arteta's spoken to him and said, yeah, just relax, play your game, you know. But I think I'd go Sterling, because I've seen little signs, you know what I mean? Like the last game he played, it was, even though he gave the ball away for one of the goals, right? We have to remember that. He was him, and he lost the ball in midfield for that Southampton goal. But he looked quite lively going forward. And yeah, it is a difficult one. But I think just that, you know, if we're not going to have if you ain't got Saka there, just that additional pace might trouble them a bit more. The pace of Sterling down that right hand side. And we haven't really seen him much on that right hand side yet, have we?
No,
He's more sort of come on the left.
I didn't think he was as that bad as what people made out against Southampton as well. He done all right, as you just said.
He played all right, but he gave the ball away for the goal.
He done all right in the first half. He tried and all that, like, you know.
He did more than try.
Yeah,
he was decent.
I don't want to say he was like...
Things went against us at Southampton first. I mean, Arteta, sorry to cut you, but, you know, when you look at the Arteta interview, is Arteta actually thought we played really well in that first half. It just didn't go for us. So
yeah, I didn't think he'd done anything wrong in the first half, if I'll be honest. It was just a couple of things that didn't go for him and all that. Like, but for some reason, because it wasn't the great half, they look at
the score,
scapegoats and things like that, like, you know. But second half, it was probably like, because we won the game, we wasn't as controlled, was we, as we was in that first half. So I ain't got a problem if Sterling plays, but he might have to on the left-hand side anyway, like, you know, if Martinelli's not there. Like, but that's what these players, this is what I'm saying now. If I'm Arteta, and I'm saying to Jesus and Sterling, this is what you're here for. When things, this is when you've got to turn up and perform. And it's got to be in games like this against Bournemouth. If you've got Saka and Martinelli out, this is what they're there for. And they've got to come in and perform. Whoever it is has got to come in and perform.
Sorry, was I going to say something?
No.
Oh, so okay. It could be interesting, the team selection. I'd like us to do an 11, right? Because based off of players that could be in and out, sort of thing, could be injured or whatever, right? So obviously Raya will be in goal. He's not injured as far as we know. He's been playing for Spain as well.
Yeah, clean sheet.
Yeah.
So now the back four. Now, if Ben White is all right, if everybody's fit, who's our right back?
Me, I'm going Ben White.
I'm going Timber.
Yeah, see, that's just interesting, isn't it? So.
But it's marginal. That's what I'm going to say. It's really marginal. And to have that kind of choice is a testament to Edu, Arteta and the Cronkies, that we've got those kind of choices. Yeah. It's fabulous.
Ben White scored last year, like you said.
Yeah.
So you're leaving him out?
Well, it was a header in injury time. You know, you
still scored?
Yeah, he still scored. He's not predominantly there to score, and I'm not going to base my decision on whether he scored an injury time fourth goal last year.
Okay, so you gone Ben White, you gone Timber. I'm not gonna. Yeah. I'm gonna leave this to you two, and then you guys listening or watching this can, if you're watching, you can write it down and put it in the comments, right? Because it's interesting. Then obviously, if they're both fit, Saliba, Gabriel, would that go to that question? Yeah. Left back, who plays there in the left back? Remember, we've still got the option of Timber open to that side as well.
I have.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. And Calafiori.
Yeah, and Zinchenko apparently is potentially back.
Okay. So which...
I'm going for this game, Calafiori.
Calafiori?
For this particular game, depending on the fitness of Zinchenko, I'd play him.
Zinchenko?
Yeah, and it's not because I think he's going to be, you know, he's better than Calafiori at the moment. I'm looking at the longer term options here, is that you've got Shakhtar and then you've got Liverpool, and I think that if he is fit and up to it, you need to start integrating Zinchenko back in, and that's also based.
He's doing it again, isn't it?
No, but that's also based on the form of Zinchenko before he got injured. In pre-season, he was looking good. Because I'm looking at this game.
He likes Zinchenko.
But yeah, I do like Zinchenko. I like Calafiori a lot. I'm looking at this game as part of a sequence of games, as Arteta looks at, and the sequence of games are over the next week, and there's
I'm
3
looking
games.
at that as well. That's why Timber don't play for me.
I'm looking at that game and I'm saying that, one of their strengths is the wide areas, right?
Yep.
Now, you want to throw Zinchenko in there, who sometimes we think defensively is not the greatest.
No, Zinchenko,
And he's not played. He's not played a lot in against like your Semenyas and people like that, who they're very strong in wide areas. You sure about that?
It all depends on the fitness of him. If he's
No,
fit,
right.
he's fit, and also he hasn't had many games, and
so you're throwing him into...
And Calafiore's played, and he's come back from an injury, and he's been playing for Italy. He's had quite a lot of.
You either throw him into that game away from home.
It's hardly the most intimidating environment, Bournemouth.
We're not saying that, but
so
away
I
from
don't think
home.
it makes that much difference away from home with a place like Bournemouth.
The reason I'm not playing Timber, by the way, is I'm keeping him back for Liverpool.
So he's a similar reason to why I'd play Zinchenko then.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
So there is a logic.
I'm leaving it down to people there, but me, I'll be looking at it and thinking I want a very strong defensive line against Bournemouth because, as you said earlier, chances created and
Chances
things
are
like
created, but we can outscore them.
All right. So we go to
Midfield.
defensive midfield. It's midfield. Just give us your midfield. So midfield.
Partey,
Lee.
Rice, Trossard.
Okay. No Marino.
No, I think Marino.
He's been playing for Spain.
I like to see, and that's one of the good things about international. One of the good things about international football is that he's got some minutes without the pressure of getting them for us. But for me, I'm looking at playing him some sort of time in this game, but then playing on Tuesday night. I'm starting at home, but I'd go with the trusted for everything. Partey and Rice and Trossard if if one of the wide players is fit.
Right.
I'd have Rice. That for me is a definite. I would have Marino because I've not seen. I think it's time that he started a game. I think Bournemouth would be a good time to start, and I'd actually. So people are forgetting about him now because we sort of had the furore of wanting him to play, but I still want to see Nwaneri start a game.
All right. So Nwaneri.
Yeah.
So you're leaving Partey out?
Yeah, I'd leave Partey out for this one.
All right. And then your front thrhree, Julian.
Okay. All depends on fitness, but I want to see. I definitely
let's say Saka. Let's say Saka and Martinelli are out.
Okay, then I'd have Havertz and Trossard on the left, and I would have Jesus on the right.
If Martinelli's fit, Martinelli.
We said he wasn't fit.
Actually, he's not fit. Sterling, Havertz, Jesus.
So you're
leaving Trossard out?
No.
You've got Trossard in midfield.
So I've got Trossard in midfield.
They got Trossard in midfield. So what was your front three?
I had Trossard, Havertz and Jesus.
Trossard, Havertz, Jesus.
Yeah.
All right, so no Sterling.
No Sterling.
Nwaneri in the midfield.
Yeah, no Partey.
No Partey, Marino. So a lot of changes in your team.
Yeah. But then we've had 2 weeks.
Zinchenko. That's a lot of changes.
Yeah.
Does anybody else want to see play?
You sure that...
But I'm looking at this as a part of...
Are you disrespecting Bournemouth a bit with that team?
No.
Not to say that's a very weak team, but you're making a lot of changes for Bournemouth.
For me, I'm giving ultimate respect to Liverpool, which is where I see that that is the key game. I think we have.
You ain't got to Liverpool yet.
So I think we have enough in our squad to be able to beat Bournemouth with that team. Then go and then play. We've got Shakhtar on Tuesday, which hopefully will be the easier of the 3 games. I predict. But then for me, it's all about Liverpool. Liverpool is a massive crunch game. And I think
only a crunch game if you beat Bournemouth.
That's the key. You've got to beat Bournemouth.
But we've got the squad. I think we've now got the squad. They've put the squad, a fantastic squad in place, and I think that this is the kind of week that needs to be utilised and trusted.
Okay. Actually, I'm going to jump in, I think, with my team.
Couldn't resist, could he?
I can't resist. Raya. Timber. Only because I think, Ben White's been out. And I'm just like, I'm going for a really solid back line against these guys.
What, Ben White's not solid? Yeah?
Of course he's solid, but he's just
I was just putting it
it's
out
only because he's been out.
No,
only because I love Ben White. Right?
Timber's been out as well.
So it's only because he's been out. And I kind of thinking to myself, the game to bring him back for would be that Shakhtar game. That's my feeling on it, right? So I'd have Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, right? I think it's Zinchenko. Nah, not to throw me again. I think the Shakhtar game, I wouldn't be against Zinchenko coming in for that. It's another Ukrainian team as well. You know the players and stuff like that. That to me would be the game to bring him back for, not away from home. Good wide players. I think let him get back into because he's hardly played this season. Has he played?
He started off the
first game. He had a really good pre-season as well.
Yeah. Midfield, Partey, Rice, and Trossard. And then up front, if those guys weren't fit, it would have to be Havertz, Jesus, and Sterling. The only thing is, it doesn't really leave many options on the bench. That's the only problem. Like if it's not really working out attacking wise, you've only really got them Wannieri.
Listen, if you're losing your best two wide players, you ain't going to have many options, are you?
Yeah.
That's the problem.
It doesn't leave you many attacking because I think like. Looking at Arteta's teams, he looks like he likes to leave like someone there on the bench, like that's someone that could come off the bench and make a difference if it's not quite working out.
That's because he's got those options.
Yeah,
every manager would like that.
Yeah,
he's got the options most of the time. But if you've got loads of injuries, your options are diminished.
Yeah. Which gives me a little thinking that he could play. If there was a problem there, he could play. He could go with say maybe a Marino. Coming into that Odegaard position and then play Trossard out on the left and then have the option of bringing on a Sterling or a Jesus later
so you're
on.
saying Thomas Partey, Rice and Marino as a free?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be against that.
No, but there's so many options that we wouldn't be against. And the other thing is, this Smith guy, I think it's Adam Smith, does play right back. So that left-hand side you do want to exploit with a bit of pace. Apparently at 33 he's not the fastest. So we can definitely listen defensively. I've forgotten the name of the Hungarian guy they got. He was linked with. He's a very good player. They've got some decent players there. Kerkeres?
Yeah, they've got some good players.
He's the left back.
Who? Sorry,
Kerkeres, is it?
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he's left back.
Yeah. Arsenal are very heavily linked with him. So we've
got enough left backs now.
They do like to get their fullbacks up, but then it's going to be interesting to see how they play because Southampton didn't play how I was expecting them to play. They sat a lot deeper.
But they're in a bit more trouble than Bournemouth. They're sitting 13th. I think they're doing okay. And a game like Arsenal, he doesn't need to compromise what he wants to do. If he loses to Arsenal, he's not going to lose his job, and they're not going to lose their Premiership status by losing to Arsenal.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. But definitely I think it could be exploited. I want to find out from people what you think the team should be. What do you guys think the score's going to be?
It'll be 3-0. To Arsenal.
I'd like to think that, but 2-0 I'm going to be a little bit cautious for this
game. I think I'll go 2-0. It's straight after an international break.
It's hard to predict when you don't know what players are going to be about.
Suppose, and the other thing, Bournemouth haven't actually got any injuries. They haven't got such a deep squad like we do, but they haven't got. I think they've got one long-term injury, and that's it.
And probably I don't know how many players have played internationally for them, probably not as many as us.
So they've had a couple of weeks to prepare. So I think I'll revise that back to 2-0.
Yeah. By the way, Bournemouth, one of my favourite away days.
Oh,
yeah,
I like Bournemouth. Tiny little ground. You're right near to the
one of the best.
Yeah, you're right near to the players. You're right near to the atmosphere. Obviously it's not Anfield atmosphere or whatever, but I don't know. It's so different.
Yeah.
To any other ground you're going to go to that. I don't know. I just always enjoy going.
Oh, I enjoy it. I've always enjoyed Bournemouth. I think it's you can actually when they're warming up, you can touch the players and they come and say hello and all that. It's unreal. Which you don't get at a lot of grounds, do you? That you can get closer to them, and you there's just something unique about Bournemouth, in my opinion. It's not like any other ground.
No, it's It's really friendly. The place is great. I mean, we go to places throughout the year that you wouldn't necessarily want to go too early to the games. But Bournemouth, hopefully we can get there a bit early, sort of go for a stroll along the beach. It's a really pleasant place.
Stroll on the beach, right? It's 10 degrees, you know, it's freezing.
No, it's going to be 16
I think
degrees.
he's trying to hint that he wants to leave early on Saturday.
So if we leave a bit earlier, because
Stroll on the beach. It's been raining for about the past 2 weeks.
It's nowhere near the beach, the ground.
The ground's nowhere near the beach.
That's why if we get there early, we can go to the beach, have a little stroll first.
Do we have to hold hands on the beach and all that? Like, do we, like, you know,
I'll tell you what, I've brought my bucket and spade, you know what I mean? We build a couple of sandcastles, you know what I mean?
Should we have our trunks, shall we?
Yeah.
I'll bring me flip-flops, you know what I mean?
Yeah, swimming trunks, yeah?
I could do. It's the place. It's a place where we could actually have a day there. Yes, it's about going to the football, but so many away grounds we go to, we get there an hour before kick-off, we do our stuff, we watch the game, and then we come straight home. And Bournemouth's one of these places where people go on holiday for there.
Yeah, in the summer.
But the temperature's fine. I've looked at it. It's going to be, I think, 16 degrees. It's not going to be that cold.
Wow.
It'll be a nice day out.
Lovely.
It's a lovely day out.
Yeah.
I don't know why it'd be a lovely day out. You won't spend a penny anything like that. You're going to buy us a drink by the seaside, are you? You're going to. What we're asking, like, I mean, you're making us go to the seaside.
Yeah, but it's a natural beauty. You don't have to spend money on natural beauty.
Oh, let's take him swimming.
You seriously going to bring your trunks?
No, look, if we're going to go down there, we'll go for a walk on the beach. Yeah.
Well, you going for a dip in this weather?
Not on my own, no. But
maybe.
Yeah, but if we all did, I wouldn't mind.
I don't mind a swim, but like, no, it ain't that.
In this weather,
it's not like
it's good for you.
It's got a lovely beach, by the way.
Beach is nice. Bournemouth beach is nice.
Yeah.
But in this weather?
There's people that go swimming every single day of the year,
I'm not going
and
in
apparently
this
it's really good for you. You know,
well done,
cold
Tom.
sea.
Well done.
There's no way I'm going in the water in this weather.
No.
It's freezing.
Okay. All right. You can just buy the ice creams then.
Well, listen, we're looking forward to the game, right? So make sure you check out. Also, don't forget, as I said right at the start of the show, Omili. We're going to be, download the app right now, scan the QR code, download the app because we've got a big debate going on there. Tomorrow, 1:30, Friday, 1:30 p.m. UK time. It's me and Cecil. We're going to be debating, is it a banana skin, this game against Bournemouth? Because, you know, they are a decent side, and if we don't take them seriously, it can be a potential banana skin, even though we've had a good record against them at Bournemouth in the past few seasons. But we definitely got to take this seriously. So download the app right now and get involved with that. And we want you guys to come on and be part of the whole conversation as well. That's what it's all about on that Omili app. So make sure you get involved. Guys, thank you very much.
Enjoyed it.
I will see you guys on Saturday. You know what I mean? Any thoughts, Julian, though, of swimming? Right, that's just down to you. I ain't swimming nowhere, mate. I'll tell you. At this time of year, October, going swimming.
Yeah,
right?
it's a mad idea.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely looking to catch a serious cold or something like that. You know what I mean? But you know, it's up to you if you want to do that.
I'm not going to do it on my own, but I don't mind going. I'd like to go there early, but it's up to the driver, isn't it?
Yeah, you're driving it.
Oh, okay, so it's up to me. Fine, we'll go early.
We never said it's up to you. Yeah. Anyway, right, we'll be at the game, of course, and of course you can check out all the great content that's going to be coming from the game. Of course, we'll be there. And then Tuesday, let me just get a quick prediction for you guys as well. Shakhtar, who haven't got off to a great start in the Champions League. I was chatting to a guy on Tuesdays from the Ukraine, who's a big Shakhtar fan. Said he's going to be at the game, but he's not holding out a lot of hope for Shakhtar. What's your predictions for that game?
3-0.
Yeah, I would say it's got to be the most straightforward game we've got this week.
And I think what we'll do is hopefully get a couple of goals up early and conserve energy for the Sunday game. I think they have one eye on that Sunday game.
Yeah.
That's the game, by the way, where I would, as I said, I'd be bringing in my Ben Whites for that game. Maybe a Zinchenko if he's fit for that game. Maybe Marino starts that game as well. That would be a game where I'd say not too many changes because, again, you can't disrespect a team like Shakhtar. They've always got good players. But that's the game where now I'm starting to think to myself, right, a little bit of an eye on that game on the Sunday, which, of course, is massive against Liverpool.
Yeah.
But it's
only massive if we win on Saturday.
Only massive if we win on Saturday. Only massive. Actually,
it's going to be massive anyway.
But
Look, it's always going to be massive Liverpool. It's early in the
but
season.
bigger if we win. You know, then if we don't win, it's a must win. An absolute must win.
So it becomes bigger if we don't win. Then that's
just to say, just looking at some of the our rivals, you know, for that top spot at the moment, what they've got on the weekend. Of course, on Sunday, Liverpool taking on Chelsea at home, but Liverpool versus Chelsea, and Man City go away to Wolves on Sunday as well. So if we can get that win, puts a little bit of pressure on those two for their Sunday game, particularly Liverpool are pretty...
City playing Sunday off.
Both of them playing Sunday. Wolves, 2 o'clock kickoff UK time for Man City. Away at Wolves. And Wolves have been starting the season. That could be O'Neill. If he don't win that, he could be out. And Liverpool,
because they ain't losing that. City.
And Liverpool versus Chelsea. Very interesting game. Chelsea been on form, Liverpool been on form. That's going to be a great game. 4:30 kickoff on the Sunday.
And if Arsenal win on Saturday, it'll be their 2000th win in top flight football.
More in the Premier League?
Not Premier League. Top flight football.
Oh,
okay. And if they win, of course, they go top of the league.
Yeah.
You know, temporarily probably, but top of the league. So, very, very important game for Arsenal away at Bournemouth on Saturday. And we're going to be all over it here on AFTV. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Julian. They're about to go away and start working on their quiz prowess, right? You know what I mean? After embarrassing AFTV, but listen, next time we'll send a better team. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. The Invincible podcast. Myself, Robbie, and Lee Judges come together once a week to discuss all things Arsenal. Straight talking, considered discussion, brought to you by the fans of the only club in Football League history to go invincible.